What can you do to make a good first impression on your next speech or presentation? Hi, I'm Tim Barnaby. I'm your certified world-class speaking coach. I help business professionals speak, lead, and succeed in their careers, their communities, and their lives. Today I want to talk to you about first impressions and some of the things that you can do to make a really good first impression on your next speech or presentation. Now, here are 3 things that I believe would be the most beneficial to you when you're giving your next speech. The first is eye contact. One of the things I have found most beneficial to speakers who are really engaging is that they have really good eye contact. And what I mean by eye contact is just that they look directly in people's eyes. Have you ever noticed speakers who look like they're looking at you, but in fact they're looking over you? And some speakers even go so far as to really ignore the people who are in front of them and look beyond the people in the audience, perhaps looking for people in the back. Now, it depends on the size and the scope of what you're delivering your speech in. If it's a large stadium-like theater, well, then there's definitely more people in which to look at. And they're more than likely concentrating on keeping focused to the front of their audience because that's where the camera is going to hit. But if you're delivering in a boardroom setting to 10 or 20 people, you definitely want to take the time and look everybody in the eye, at least for 2 to 3 seconds. And especially if you're asking someone specifically a question or they're asking you a question. Eye contact is really key, and it brings about a more warm feeling than when you tend to look away. The second item is to sound and be authentic. There are plenty of public speakers out there who have their own charisma, and some people will refer to them specifically as the type of speaker that you should sound like. Maybe if you're in a business environment, Tony Robbins is very popular. He's also good with the motivational people. If you're more entrepreneurial, Gary Vaynerchuk, who has some colorful language, is certainly someone that people tend to think they need to sound like. But to be quite honest, you need to sound like you. You have your own distinct voice and your own distinct way of how you deliver your material. And your audience will be more appreciative of you, knowing that this is coming from you, your heart, your knowledge. It's all you embracing them, not you putting on a phony persona to sound like somebody else. So when you speak, make sure you are authentically being yourself, just like you should be making eye contact with people. And the third thing that I would suggest that you do is don't wing it. Know exactly what you want to say. Now, there are people who write speeches and memorize them word for word, and they sound like they are really and truly just reading off of a script. So there is a technique about internalizing your speech so that you know the material well enough that if you miss something or if you glaze over a word or two, that you will not necessarily lose your place. You'll be able to go on. I just made a mistake there, but I'm going on. You don't want to come across as being flustered because we are all imperfect. And people will find you more genuine knowing that you've made some kind of an error, but yet you're willing to accept it and move forward versus stumbling and fumbling. Then it makes them feel like you're not prepared because you hadn't memorized your speech. So really want to take into consideration that you want to not necessarily memorize, internalize, and speak in a sense of not just coming up on stage and winging it, shuffling, trying to figure out what you want to say with long pauses that are only meant to help you remember what you would like to say. So consider these 3 points. Keep good eye contact, be authentic in the way you speak, and never wing it. Always have your material written out or have it at least done a rehearsal or two so that you know it inside and out to be able to deliver it authentically and engagingly to your audience. Tell me what you think. Put some comments below. Let me know if these tips are resonating with you. And if you haven't done so already, check out my website for more information about the services that I offer. And you can also check me out on my different social media platforms. I'm there to connect with you. And if there's anything that I could do to help you in your speaking, please reach out to me at tim@timbarnaby.com. I wish you nothing but success on your next speech or presentation. And until we meet again, here's to your speaking success.